ever since Disney bought Star Wars, I have been waiting for them to make something with Obi-Wan, some type of Obi-Wan spinoff, and we finally got it. He's my favorite character in all of Star Wars. If you've been around the channel for a bit, you know that, so I'm so excited for this. And what I will say is the first 2 episodes just released, and they're actually pretty good. I think this is the best start that a Disney Plus show has had. It's not amazing or the best thing ever, but it was pretty good, and I'm satisfied with it. So that's what I'll say for the non-spoiler part. The rest is going to be spoilers. There's your warning. Let's get into some spoilers. The show opens up with the Order 66, and I thought it looked pretty cool. I like that opening. That stunt woman killed it. I thought it looked sick. Now, at first, you're like, what is the context of this? Why are they just showing us Order 66 with these random people? And then you realize, oh, one of those Padawans is the Inquisitor girl, is the new Inquisitor. Because you see one of the Padawans is a little black girl, and she's the only little black girl. So you're like, oh, that's obviously the new Inquisitor girl. So that's what the connection I made there. That's pretty obvious. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. And that's why, because later on we see that she is obsessed with Obi-Wan. Because they're trying to find some Jedi on Tatooine, and they find some small fry, just some random Jedi dude. And she's like, but I want Obi-Wan. And they're like, nah, dude, don't forget about Obi-Wan. She's like, I want Obi-Wan. It's like, why does she want Obi-Wan? Obviously, she has some vendetta against Obi-Wan before from something that happened probably during Order 66 that we'll find out later. Maybe Obi-Wan didn't show up in time to save her friends or something, or save her from the Empire capturing her and then, you know, turning her into a Inquisitor like she is now, or something like that. Obviously, Obi-Wan let her down in one way or another, and that's why she wants Obi-Wan. One thing I will say about this show, though, because I enjoyed it for the most part, I thought it was pretty good, is the acting is not the best from some people. The Jedi they're hunting is not a good actor. That guy does not do very good. And same with the actress that plays the new Inquisitor. I don't remember the new Inquisitor's name. I think she's third sister. I don't really care. Her acting, like, fluctuates. Sometimes she's alright, then other times, like the scene where she's in that alley talking to the other Inquisitor, it's bad. Like, it's bad. And something I'm confused about with this character is I don't know how they're trying to have her come off. I don't know if they're trying to build up that she's intimidating, because she doesn't feel like it at all. She feels like an insolent brat. Like, I don't know if they're trying to have her come off as a pure insolent brat, or if she's supposed to be, like, really intimidating. Because to me, she's kind of, like, laughable. She's not really intimidating. Like, when she gets all up in people's faces and makes that dumb face, I'm like, you're like a joke. You're not intimidating at all. Like, you know, you see Vader and you are scared. Vader is scary looking. This lady's not. She's just not. Like, she's even slicing people's hands off, and it's like, you're not scared. I, as a viewer, are not scared of you. Like, she always has this kind of, like, dumb, smug look on her face, and, like, she's trying to look tough, and it's like, you're just not. All the Inquisitors look like idiots, though. But she, like, is really trying to be intimidating, and she's not. But if their goal is to just have her come off like some type of dumb brat, then well done, I guess. She comes off like that. Also, there are some bounty hunters later on that aren't the best actors. But other than that, everyone else does a pretty solid job. It's just the Jedi, this Inquisitor, and then some bounty hunters that aren't the best at acting. But everyone else does pretty good. I like the world building we get to see, like, where Obi-Wan's at in his life in this first episode. I really like that, like, seeing his day in and day out, how he works at this meat packing place. He always steals meat, and we see where he's at. I love the scene with the Jawa. I love it. Jawas are just such assholes, just so interested in money and just credits, and that's it. I love the fact that they just steal something from his place, then sell it back to him. It's so good. Like, I love that scene. That scene with the Jawa is great. Seeing him check up on Luke and everything, and the scene between him and Uncle Owen is great. Just I love that. Just seeing Uncle Owen be like, "Hey, dude, the Jedi suck. Get out of here." The Alderaan stuff was pretty good. I actually really like Leia. I thought they nailed Leia for the most part. I think she, like, the little girl that plays her does a good job. The one thing that was dumb on Alderaan is when they capture her. I don't know if you guys know this, but 10-year-old girls aren't fast. Children are not fast. When they're 10 years old, and especially if you're supposed to be a decent bounty hunter, it would be laughably easy to catch them. Like, she's right there, and they are having trouble catching her, and there's like a 10-minute long chase scene, or like a 5-minute long chase scene, and there's some really dumb, like, parts in it where it's really stupid looking, where she gets away at certain parts. Like, this guy's running after it, and then there's a branch in his way that he could duck under so easily. But he's like, oh, I've never seen a branch in my life before. How do I get past this? And he's all puzzled, and then he goes past it. It's like, what? It's so stupid. And there's another scene like that when they're on the totally not Coruscant planet, where she's running away from Obi-Wan, and it's like, dude, she's so slow. She's so slow. And there's a part where, like, she just runs by Obi-Wan, and, like, Ewan McGregor has to, like, pretend like he couldn't grab her, like he whiffs the air, and it's like, oh no. That was, like, stupid. But that was really, like, my only gripes for, like, the first 2 episodes is that. That was, like, she's a 10-year-old child. It is so easy. Like, they are slow. Children are slow. But other than that, I really enjoyed the first episode. I liked everything with Obi-Wan, seeing him trying to reach out to Qui-Gon, seeing where he's at in his life, what he's doing, how his life kind of sucks, how he's just like, it's best if I distance myself from the Jedi and the Force so I don't get noticed and don't bring danger to Luke, but I still have this obligation to watch after him because I said I would. I like seeing how Leia is. Like, it's very, you can see how this little girl grows up to be the Princess Leia we know. So I thought that was cool. I like that a lot. I think the first episode was pretty good. So when we first started to get stuff for this show, there were some things that I knew I had to reconcile with. One of those being that Obi-Wan leaves Tatooine. I think it's dumb. He was supposed to be exiled there, never leave. You know, he was there the whole time, not go on just little adventures when he felt like it. But I knew I was going to have to reconcile with that once I saw that revealed for the show. The other thing is that he's going to encounter Vader at some point. Now, that doesn't make sense because of the whole line in A New Hope, where he's like, you know, when I left you, I was but the learner, now I am the master, which doesn't really make sense if you meet him 10 years later when he is clearly not the learner, and Obi-Wan is not the master at that point, so that doesn't really make sense. But those were 2 things I knew I had to reconcile with, so I had to just be like, whatever, just got to deal with it and see if I can enjoy the show despite those things. So, putting that behind me, him being on this planet that's totally not Coruscant is it's cool seeing the planet. Everything looks good. There's not really any like bad CG or green screen. They use that thing, I can't remember what it's called, but it looks really cool. The tech they use for Mando, where it's kind of like having like a projection LCD screen type deal behind them. It looks good. The world looks cool, seeing Obi-Wan beat up some people. He hits a dude with a vicious uppercut, says knocks out for a century. I like seeing Obi-Wan go around, try to find her. I really like Kumail Nanjiani's character. I think I'm saying his name right. The comedian guy that went on all of the steroids in the world for Eternals. I like his character in this. At first I was like, oh, he's just going to be a silly gimmick guy. But then in the end, when he helps Obi-Wan, I understood his character. When he decides to help Obi-Wan, I was like, oh, this is a guy that was a kid during the prime of the Jedi, grew up wanting to be a Jedi, looking up to them, and now he gets to pretend to be one and, like, live his fantasy. And now he gets to help a legitimate Jedi. Not just a Jedi, the Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought that was really cool. I like his character, because at first I was like, oh, he's just a jokey gimmick character. Ugh. But then when that moment happened, I was like, okay, I understand this guy. That is cool. I like that guy. I like having a character like that in this universe. I think that's really cool. The whole part when Obi-Wan saves her and then just runs around the town, like, buying their disguise and everything is great. It just represents a 10-year-old perfectly. She's just like, oh, you're not a Jedi. I heard Jedi can make people float. Make me float. Like, all these different things. She's just bugging the crap out of him, being exactly how a kid would be in this situation, completely underestimating how dangerous everything is, and not understanding the situation at all while Obi-Wan's on edge. I love that. Like, it represents a 10-year-old perfectly. Now, the part that doesn't represent a 10-year-old is the part where she sees the like the one-in thing on the bounty hunter he just knocked out and like freaks out and is like, what if you're my captor? And it's like, that part was dumb. That part was really stupid and didn't really make sense. Like, I feel like she would understand that, like, why he's being hunted if he's a Jedi. If he's a Jedi, it would make sense for bounty hunters to be going after him because the Empire are hunting Jedi. Like, what? She even knows that. Like, it's said earlier in the episode, she knows that. So it doesn't really make sense. Like, that part was stupid. The whole part on the rooftop is a mix of kind of cool and kind of dumb because it's just bounty hunters whiffing shots at Obi-Wan while Obi-Wan's kind of like just, Leia, Leia, and we get just like some stupid parkour from the third sister. Like, it's really slow, horrible looking parkour. Like, she's just jumping around the rooftops like Batman, and it doesn't look very good. It looks really stupid, and it's kind of like feels like wasted space. It's like, why am I watching her parkour? I don't care about this. I don't care about her parkouring. But then you get a really predictable moment where you're like, oh, Obi-Wan's going to use the Force to help her Leia when she can't make the jump. And then that's exactly what happens. But still, good moment. And, yeah, then he just makes it down. They try to make it in the end. And we see that third sister finally catches up to Obi-Wan. And we get a really good scene where Obi-Wan realizes that Anakin's alive. And it's like, oh, snap. Ewan McGregor does a fantastic job as always, but especially that scene, just the look in his eye, the emotion. Without saying a word, you know exactly how Obi-Wan feels, knowing that Anakin's still alive. Like, he's just feeling all these different things right now. Just all these different emotions are hitting him at once, knowing that Anakin's still alive. Like, I love that moment. There's a lot of moments in here that are great. Something that I feel like's missing, that was completely missing from, like, Boba Fett. Like, there are moments that are really, like, the episodes as a whole are cool, but there are specific moments that you can point to, like, that's really cool. Like, I like that. And that's one of those moments. I thought it was really well done. Now, when the Grand Inquisitor comes up and she stabs him, it's kind of stupid, because, like, we know he doesn't die, considering he's in Rebels, so I don't get that whole fake out. I do think it's funny that she could possibly be like, when the other Inquisitors catch up, be like, yo, you should have seen it. Obi-Wan he did like 3 flips, came out of nowhere, stabbed the Grand Inquisitor, and took off. And I was like, no, don't do that, Obi-Wan. Like that. I like the idea of her being able to say that, like blame the whole thing on Obi-Wan, especially if he's in like some type of freaking back coma or something to heal from his wounds. But that was one of my problems with them using these Inquisitors when the show, like, when the trailer first dropped and everything, was like, well, we know how all of these Inquisitors end except for, like, her. So, there's no real threat there. I really do hope Obi-Wan just decimates her, though, or Vader kills her or something, because her character's kind of just annoying right now. Like, she doesn't ruin the show or anything, it's just, she's just a really bratty Inquisitor, and I don't care about her. I know they're going to try to get you to care about her with her backstory of, she was a Padawan, and blah, 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 or a youngling, and Order 66, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, I don't care. I really do hope in the flashbacks, though, we see Anakin wrecking house. I really hope we get that in Order 66, because that's something that we wanted, in actual Order 66 and Revenge of the Sith that we didn't really get. Like, we just, we didn't really get that. So I want to see that actually happening. That could be cool. But yeah, overall, first 2 episodes are good, worth checking out. I'm excited to, like, that end with the Vader was intense. Seeing Hayden Christensen as Vader in his back to tanks, like, oh man. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes, especially like because like the best action scene so far was Order 66. Like we haven't really had much action yet, which is fine. I just want to see how the action's going to be in the show, especially if we see Vader just killing people, which could be sick. So I hope so. But yeah, overall, first 2 episodes good. I did not expect to be this positive about it because I love Obi-Wan, but I hated the Book of Boba Fett, and a lot of Disney Plus stuff has not been good, so I was not looking forward to this. Like, Mandalorian's pretty good for the most part. It has its ups and downs, though. There's some parts of Mando that are not very good, so I was not sure how Obi-Wan was going to be. But 2 of 6 episodes are pretty good, so I hope the rest is good. We'll see. Anyways, let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this? I really want to hear from you guys if you like this or not. What are your thoughts on the Obi-Wan Kenobi show? And also, we are going to be talking about this more extensively on my podcast, Nerd Talk, which I'll have linked in the description. You can listen to it on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. We just posted an episode last week talking about, or earlier this week, talking about Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, the Halo TV show, and the Moon Knight TV show. So if you want to listen to that, that will be linked in the description below. Thank you to everyone who watched the video. Please give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.